I think we focus so much on giving our kids the things that we didn't have growing up that we forget to give them the things that we did. And that's just as important. I'm a real big believer in letting your kids scrape their knees. And I'll elaborate on that. I'm going to share a beautiful story with y'all about an indigenous rite of passage. I believe it was a Cherokee rite of passage. I could be wrong on that. But it's a rite of passage for young men. But I believe it could apply to women as well, because I got daughters, and I got to watch my daughters scrape their knees sometimes. But here goes the story. So at a certain age, the father would take his son into the wilderness, and he'll put a blindfold on him. And the son had to sit there. He couldn't go to sleep. He had to sit there throughout the whole night, and he could not lift that blindfold. So imagine, you got to take yourself, it might not sound like a big deal, but take yourself there, You're sitting in the wilderness in the middle of the night. You're hearing all these sounds. You can't lift up your blindfold to see what they are. For all you know, you could be in danger, but you have to sit there. And you can't lift that blindfold, because if you do, the gods will know. But more importantly, you would know, and everybody in this village has to go through this rite of passage. So finally, in the morning, when the boy could take the blindfold off, he would see that his father was sitting next to him the whole time. And I think it's a beautiful story about trust. And on so many levels, because on one, first of all, the boy learned that his father was there with him even when he didn't think he was. Second of all, the boy learned that he could do it. He could face his fears. But the third lesson, I think this is a big, just as big a lesson. The father learned that he could trust his son to face his fears himself. That he could handle what was coming at him. Because I imagine it was just as hard for the father not to lift the blindfold as it was for the son. Imagine watching your kid. Some of us can relate to that. Watching our kids go through stuff. We want to rescue them from it. I know that father wanted to lift the blindfold, but he had to let his son go through that, because the son had to know that he had that in him, and that was the only way for him to find out. And that's why I say you gotta let your kids scrape their knees sometimes. I'm not saying let them starve to death. But hey, you gotta let them feel some things sometimes, because it's gonna build something in them that your words can't. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. I thought it was a beautiful story about trust, and share with y'all, hey, I know our kids got to go through some things sometimes, just like we did, and it'll build the things in them that it built in us. So again, I follow what I started off with in the beginning. Sometimes we focus so much on giving our kids what we didn't have growing up that we forget to give them the things that we did, and we owe them that. We really do. Thanks for watching this video. Y'all enjoy y'all Sunday, and I hope somebody got something from this.